A few days ago, I made an announcement. I told you my team and I were going to Abakaliki. To some, that sounded like just another journey. But for me, it was personal. You see, Abakaliki is not just a place on the map. It's where I come from. It's the soil that raised me. The street that shaped my fire. The place where I first saw both the beauty and the brutality of life. I know what it means to suffer there. I've seen mothers breaking their backs in the sun for coins that don't come. I've watched fathers humiliated by poverty they didn't choose. And I've seen good people, honest people, struggle to rise while false prophets build empires on their pain. So when I see con men dressed like pastors speaking in the name of God while robbing the poor of their last hope, I just can't keep silent. Not here, at least not in my home. They say charity begins at home, but so does justice. When we began exposing these false prophets, men who weaponized the word to manipulate minds, they panicked. First, they started threatening us, then the bribes, and then the smear campaigns. They didn't want to answer the questions we raised. Instead, they paid hungry bloggers and unleashed gullible followers to defame me personally. They claimed I scammed people of 15 million naira and I ran to Abuja. When that didn't fly, they created fake Facebook accounts in my name, messaging themselves, taking screenshots, spreading lies, and claiming that it was me. So when I arrived in Abakaliki, I made my presence known. I dropped my location. You people saw the previous post. I told them where I was staying. And I dared anyone at all who believes I have ever collected a single kobo from them to come forward. I said, if you can prove I scammed you, I will give you every single penny I own. Not just money, every single thing I own. One came. Not one. And to the so-called pastors who felt offended by our investigations, I also give them an open invitation. Catch me or sue me, but don't hide behind pulpits and orchestrate cowardly lies. While they were busy gossiping online, we got busy on the ground. We went to visit the Paul Old People's Home. I believe so many of you in Abakaliki know this place. Some of you also met us there. And in the name of Car Truth Podcast, we gave 6 children scholarships. Some from primary school all the way to university. Those already in secondary schools, we covered their path to higher education. But education, of course, you and I know, is not enough. We gave them a guardian, someone to walk beside them, protect them, and help them grow in a world that can be unforgiving and very wicked. We gave their parents 300,000 naira, not because it's much. Of course, it's not, especially because of the present situation in our country. But because love shows up even when the resources are small. Whatsoever you do to the least of
It's been a very eventful one in Abakaliki, the city of Abakaliki. Since I came back, me and my team, we've not rested. It's been from one place to another, from one location to another. And this is Wisdom, aka Njoko, the heartbreaker of Ndiamumoya, first prophet. So when I was coming back, I asked him to also meet me in Abakaliki. He doesn't stay in Abakaliki. Well, I asked him to meet me in Abakaliki so that we'll be able to do this thing. And we've given him the sum of 1 million naira. All right. And the reason why we did that is because we feel it's going to go a long way to support him, to establish him. This guy, if you see what he has passed through, if he tell you his story, how he has been suffering with his family, you will have pity on him. And despite all of this suffering, he has refused to go back into some of those things he used to do with this false prophet. So we feel supporting him will be the best thing to do. And we've given him the sum of 1 million. And I encourage every single one of you to send whatever you think you want to use to appreciate him. A lot of you have been asking me, to share account details to support him and all of that. So the account, we actually have a registered charity organization. It's called Car Charity Foundation. All right, so the account number is below. You can send whatever support you have for him, and of course the way we do it here, whatever money you send, we'll account for it. We'll give you every single account on how we spend the money. So be rest assured that whatever you give to him will get to him. And then whatever you also want to use to support the work of Car Truth Podcast, of course, you can go ahead and also send us whatever it is you want to use to support us. So, Wisdom, do you have anything to say?
I am very, very grateful once again. It has been an honor and also a privilege for all this while this has been happening. It has not been easy. A lot of threats and other things, but I refuse to, even with a lot of people. So I appreciate Car Truth and his crew, and you out there that is listening, that equally believed what I'm saying. I appreciate everybody. I didn't say all this for people to start going to church, no, but because I want all of us to come out from the manipulations of prophets and pastors. That is all. I appreciate every one of you and appreciate Car Truth and his crew once again. Thank you very much.
Of course, most of you have seen our video with Mr. Wisdom, the tormentor of false prophets, the one who came and set the internet on fire, the one who had the courage to dare those he has worked with, just to ensure that those who do not know this truth are saved. This man risked his life to expose evil when many others were too afraid to speak. For that courage, we gave him 1 million naira to begin again. But more importantly, we offered him mentorship to help him rebuild his life with dignity and direction. After that, we traveled to my village. It was very exciting. It was there that I was first raised, the one that watched me fall, watched me rise, and still welcomed me like a son. That village. When I stepped into that village, I felt every memory rise like smoke from a long dead fire. The barefoot days, the empty plates, the silent tears, the dreams that seemed too far away. All that memory came back. We put smiles on the faces of the people we met. I sat with the youth and I looked them in the eye and I told them the truth. I said, superstition will not save you. Prayer without thinking is not power. I've been saying it here all the time. Don't let anyone sell you oil and call it destiny. Be logical. Be strategic, understand money, understand power, and never worship any man who demands your brain in exchange for a blessing. We returned to Abakaliki and met with the Commissioner of Police, a rare kind of leader, humble, disciplined, and focused. Immediately I saw her, I loved her, and I loved the smile on her face. We encouraged her, praised her for the peace she helps protect, and when we began discussing the fake prophet we've exposed, I was shocked. She's been following every detail of our work, every name, every case, every file. She's been paying attention, a proof to how much she wants to ensure that the people of the state are in safe hands and are not taken advantage of. We talked for almost an hour, and while I can't disclose everything we discussed, let me say this: Ebonyi is no longer an open field for fraud and falsehood. Gertrude is working with the right people to shut those gates tight. When we finished with Madam Commissioner, we also met the commanding officer of the anti-kidnapping unit, a friend of mine, a man of courage, one of the unsung heroes who fight danger while the rest of us are asleep. Then we visited the Deputy Commissioner of Police. He joked that his girlfriend left him for me. We laughed, but beyond the humor, there was respect, understanding, and a shared hunger for the safety of the people of Ebonyi State. It was a powerful journey, but none of it would have been possible without my security team. The military, the DSS, and the boys from the street who know what danger looks like and still chose to protect me. They said, "Ka, we know this is risky, but we have caught you." My people, thank you so much. Their loyalty humbled me, because I know I am not invincible, I am not untouchable, I am not unkillable, but I am willing. If that comes while I'm doing this, let it come. Let it find me standing. My courage doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from acceptance. I've accepted that I can be killed, that I can suffer, that I can lose everything, but when the end comes, I want to be proud of that moment, proud that I stood for something. Most of the security agencies, their struggle, their effort, their fight to ensure that some of us sleep peacefully at night are underreported. You may hate the police, but as much as we criticize them, we should also praise and encourage them. This is very important. And when you look at me, there is no hate in my heart. What fills me is love, raw, untamed, unapologetic love for people, even for the so-called false prophet. And that is why I cannot be quiet. You see, the church was meant to be a place of peace, a place of healing, a place where broken hearts are mended, not manipulated. It should not be a slaughterhouse filled with wolves in robes. It should not be a market where blessings are auctioned and God is for sale, for crying out loud. It should not teach our children that anointing oil brings money. That is a lie, or that tithe is a shortcut to wealth. We must wake up, because if we don't, we will raise a generation of blind, gullible, superstitious people. People who will kill for rituals that don't work. People who will worship fraudsters and despise truth tellers. And those who are making genuine living, decent earnings. And anyone who manipulates the mind of the people is a cancer that should be removed. So if you believe in what we do, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And if you want to support this mission, we'll spend a whole lot to ensure that we bring you all of this. Please send whatever you can to our Charity Foundation account on your screen. And most importantly, watch our previous videos, share them, talk about them, because truth must not die in silence. And as long as I breathe, I assure you, I'll keep speaking, not for fame, not for power, not for influence, but because I remember where I came from, and I owe it to those that have experienced the same thing I experienced. I owe it to those who have lost their loved ones, their property, their money, and their good names to this false prophet. Those who are awake should please wake others. Thank you.